Nico Harrison, general manager of the Dallas Mavericks, spoke to the media, some of the media,
Kind of the media.
for the first time since trading Luka Doncic. Actually, the first time since his very awkward, bumbling press conference following the Luka Doncic trade. And today it was, I don't know if the Mavericks could handle this any worse. Nico Harrison and CEO Rick Welts held a press conference, if you can call it that, with select members of the media, which were not allowed recording devices. No cameras were allowed. And they just basically brought them in and had a conversation about the end of the regular season and all things that have transpired since.
I have no idea who runs PR for the Mavericks. Whoever they are, I'm sorry. I have nothing against you personally. No, I do have something against you personally. You're terrible at your job. You're terrible. You're awful. You have no business doing what you're doing. I don't care if it's what the CEO is telling you to do. The president is telling you to do. Quit.
Yeah.
Everything you've done has been wrong. Every single thing you've done has been wrong.
Boy, it's not even their PR team, though, because you get these people who are in high leveraged pressure positions, and when they don't want to be called to the carpet on things, then there's no PR person that can tell them what to do. I mean, and that's the thing. This is more on their leadership, starting with ownership, going to Rick Welts,
for sure,
going to Nico Harrison, and it's like, at some point, you've got to face the music.
Oh, yes.
And they are refusing to face the music. In fact, Harrison said, there's no regrets on the trade. Part of my job is to do the best thing for the Mavericks, not only today, but also in the future. And some of the decisions I'm going to make are going to be unpopular. That's my job, and I have to stand by it. He's saying defense wins championships, and that's why Luka Doncic could not be a part of their team if they wanted to win a championship.
I don't. It's literally almost making me speechless. Like the veracity of stupidity.
Yeah.
The arrogance of it. It's just like, what? What do you mean? You weren't the worst defense in the league. In fact, you built a team that was very good defensively around Luka Doncic to the point that you got to the NBA Finals. Like, what are we doing here? I don't. You reached the mountaintop.
Well, and they got unceremoniously dumped in the NBA Finals because they ran into a team that had multiple options, and they found every single way to hunt Luka Doncic, and he got cooked.
And so you come back and you find more ways to do that.
Yeah.
That you don't trade the 25-year-old who took you there.
No.
Every single part of this, and I keep coming back to this. If you are the most cynical person possible, and you think that all of this is orchestrated by the Adelson family, Dumont, Nico, and not even Nico, that Nico's a puppet in all of this, that it's the ownership group, that they are the ones pulling all the strings. And they're doing all this because they are trying to get something done to where they can build a new stadium and legalize gambling in Texas. The whole idea of the team being moved, stop it. Do not text that in right now. The team is not being moved. It is not being moved. I will say that until I am blue in the face. It is not being moved. The tinfoil is not tight enough for you to even get to that point. They are not moving that team. The NBA is not going to forego $6 billion in expansion rights fees just so the Adelson family can move an already established team into a market they're getting a team into.
Well, and from one of the largest markets in the country to
one of the smallest.
Market. Yep.
As far as current sports markets. But even if you were that cynical and you think that's all they're doing, where is the win here? Because if they're going to legalize gambling in Texas, you need public support.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing that they've done that
I'm not
I don't know if it's
any of that. I honestly believe that this is just ownership that is out to lunch and does not care about the team, like Mark Cuban did especially.
Even
They went from an owner who cared so deeply and so passionately about the team, sometimes he got in the way, to an ownership that just is letting everybody do everything else. And Nico Harrison, I mean, he has doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on his philosophy is that defense is what's going to win them a championship. No winning championship without Bally going hoop.
yes.
And Luka Doncic better at that than everybody else.
And even if you, again, if you're so cynical that you believe that they don't care about the organization, that they're just interested in it for money, that they want to run it like a venture capital firm, they want to rinse their Las Vegas money through Dallas, like the worst possible scenario. Even then, this doesn't make sense because there is the ESPN research team said that the economic impact is going to cost them over $1 billion trading away Luka Doncic. So you've lost all public trust. You're losing upwards of $1 billion. Your team is noticeably worse. You have less assets. Where is the thing here that makes sense if you're talking about them just making money, or if you're talking about them legalizing gambling or getting a new arena? Nothing they have done is accomplishing any singular goal. And
the crazy part is they didn't even get the best future pick of the Lakers.
That's what I mean. They have literally failed to achieve any goal other than turning their fan base against them and sending out Luka Doncic.
Ooh, he did address the fan base. He said, well, the beauty of Dallas is that it's a passionate fan base. For us to reach our goals, we need a fan base. And to be honest with you, every trade I've made since and this is not going to help him. To be honest with you, every trade I've made since I've been here has not been regarded as a good trade. And so sometimes it takes time. When I traded for Kyrie, it was met with a lot of skepticism, and it was graded as a terrible trade, and you didn't see it right away. But eventually, everyone agreed that it was a great trade. When I traded for Gafford in Washington, again, it was like, oh, he gave up way too much. These guys aren't going to help us. Now that trade, you saw evidence a lot sooner. So I think a lot of times trades take a little bit of time. But our philosophy, like I said, going forward is defense wins championships, and we're built on defense, and this trade cements that for us.
He's an idiot.
I would agree.
Like
I mean, this guy.
I hate like getting to that point, but yeah. that's where we're at. He's an idiot.
I don't like to
Luka
call
Doncic
for people's firings.
No, I don't either.
And I really think it's
in
poor form. But at this point, with the way that the organization has gone, in the doubling, tripling down, and look, a lot of folks will be like, well, Anthony Davis got hurt right when he got there. Well, what did you expect? It's Anthony Davis. Yeah. He's 32 years old, and he was injured a lot when he was young in his career.
And if you're talking about Nico Harrison and the idea of, well, he's just doing their bidding, brother, quit.
Yeah.
Resign, because you're damaging yourself so much, you will never work in the league again.
Yeah, I don't.
You will never work in the league again. If they demand you to trade Luka Doncic, you quit.
All right. StatMuse has chimed in. The Dallas Mavericks had a defensive rating of 113 with Luka Doncic this season.
Yeah, which is like league average.
The Dallas Mavericks had a defensive rating of 114.9 with Anthony Davis this season. Now, Kyrie tore his ACL. Anthony Davis has been in and out of the lineup.
But it's still like
those two things.
113's totally fine. And I bet you their offensive ratings was probably very, very, very different.
I
bet you they were a lot better on offense. So much so that their net rating was drastically better with Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Turns out the guy that averages 30, 10, and 10 is really good.
The not just stumbling at every turn, but falling flat on their face at every turn with the handling of this situation is only magnifying every time we hear something new from the Dallas Mavericks. Nico Harrison, in his first comments since public comments since the initial trade went down for Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, it did not go any better for anybody involved. To only have a select media members there, no video, no audio recordings. That is
You want the video and audio so that you have, like, in case somebody takes something out of context.
Yeah.
Like, it's protection against that.
Yeah.
And look, the Blazers have an off-record meeting every year.
Mm-hmm.
But we have on-record meetings with the front office regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But we have an off of the record, like, hey, here's where things sit kind of situation. That's not uncommon around the league.
Boy.
But for this to be an on-record but not recorded, not documented meeting is super weird.
It's
like
not
that,
just super weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's head-scratching because of they need public perception turned in the greatest way possible. And maybe the idea behind this is that this is the start, and then you roll him out again once the season is over, and you have all of the cameras are there, but he gets some sort of a message out there in a framing out there for people to brace for. So when he comes back, and obviously there will be backlash that's already mounting up over the no regrets, and we need that fan base. But we also think defense wins championships, and we are going to continue to roll through with that. I just think this is going to get a lot worse than it is before it gets better.
Which is insane. Yeah. How does this get worse?
Well, the Lakers win a championship.
My God.
And Kyrie Irving is never the same. And you really have to start from scratch after that.
Oh, my God. Why would you even say that out loud?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, you want to know how it gets worse?
Yeah.
That's how everybody's life gets worse.
I mean, you gave a 10-year runway to the Lakers for free.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. Harrison said, we targeted AD with our philosophy of defense wins championships. We wanted a two-way player to lead our team, and that was Anthony Davis. And so everybody's going to have their critics, and I'm not sure what Mark said, speaking of Mark Cuban, but that's a better question left for him, but we got what we wanted. Mark Cuban not consulted in the trade whatsoever.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. He found out like a few minutes before it went public.
Yeah. And I believe he said
he's a minority shareholder.
He said what the F was his response.
Did you see the video of him at the Laker game?
Yeah.
When they came to town? Just him shaking his head like, are you kidding me? Is this really happening?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Here's one.
Shouldn't have tapped out.
Here's another good one that the Mavs fans are gonna like. The 1-6 in the first game where they had Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. A 116-105 home win over the Houston Rockets when fans held large pregame protests outside of American Airlines Arena was the only time Irving and Davis had played together for the Mavs. Davis had 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 blocks in 31 minutes before suffering his injury. Here is Nico Harrison's comment on that. That's a championship caliber team, and you guys were able to see it for 2.5 quarters. Unfortunately, it's a small sample size, but that is fairly a dominant defensive team. And as you look at us going forward, our philosophy is going to change. We're a team built on defense. We're built on versatility and depth. I think that's important going forward, and that's going to be the blueprint to our success. He dropped you guys were able to see it for 2.5 quarters.
That's so much worse than the Alpha Community projections of the 4. That's so much worse. So much worse.
All right.
Oh my God.
If you're a Mavs
I genuinely
fan,
feel so awful for Mavs fans.
Yeah. If you're a Mavs fan, man, I'm sorry. I really am.
I also want nothing good to happen to that franchise.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm so conflicted. I'm so conflicted because I feel so bad for those Mavs fans, and like nothing would make me happier than for them to have like Cooper Flag or something like that. You know what I mean?
I don't want him.
But at the same time, I want nothing good to happen to that organization because of ownership in the front office.
Yikes.